What up, guys? Thanks for checking out another episode of R2 Detour Bros. This episode is episode 12. I'm Tom. I'm here with Josh. This episode, we've detoured and we're going to talk about one of the highest grossing media franchises of all time and the highest grossing exclusive for Xbox. Today we have with us Alex. He's technically
Hello.
a friend for me. And just one of Josh's best men and all that stuff.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Alex.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to it.
Alex and I, we did another, podcast called Tippler's Parlor. I think we made it a few. I don't know how many episodes we got, but probably close to 20 actually. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun to do this. It's always a lot of fun to do it with friends and guests on here. Tom and I, we enjoy having everybody on.
Yeah.
Also,
Tiddlers was a lot of fun. Go for it.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say also, Alex is probably the most well-versed or educated person in the Halo franchise as a whole, more than anybody I know in person.
I wouldn't put myself there. I have a slate problem, but there has to be somebody that can weigh heavier in than I can. But there's
no one that I know.
I really have enjoyed it.
All right, so let's do. We'll jump into the Halo stuff. Let's talk about the Halo series first. That's the Halo, the live action Halo series on Paramount Plus.
Yes.
And I believe we have all seen most of it. Talking before the show, we have all seen most of it. We may not remember everything about it, but we have seen most of it, enough to, talk through the series. Alex has watched it, I think, all the way through. Whether I don't know if you said you remember how it ends or not.
So watching it all the way through, I don't. I would have to, as we talk about it, hopefully some things will come back, like pulling folders. But it wasn't like I was on the couch going, "This is crap." I enjoyed the series. I did, as soon as it started up, I wanted to know where their background was, because they weren't following the story that I wanted them to follow.
Right.
And I think you had said before that, it was, they were going off on their own lane. I was like, oh, all right. And then, so like when they brought Soren out, he was in the books but he was in his own sect of the books and not in like the true storyline. So I thought that was fun in itself to actually see that character come alive.
Yeah, that's true. The executive producer, Kiki Wolfkill, revealed or had a statement, I think either before the show actually came out.
Yeah, it was before the show.
Yeah.
When they announced it, they said that they weren't gonna.
Yeah, I think it
Sorry
says.
to cut you off.
No,
But,
they wanted to be very clear on what they were doing so that there wasn't the hate for the show, that they weren't following the books, kind of like The Witcher. Ugh. Anyways, they revealed that this series is a standalone story that takes place within its own Silver timeline, and it's separate from everything else. It's obviously gotten inspiration from all of the core canon stuff and lore, and they followed John, and they have some of the same characters: Halsey, Cortana, Soren, Keyes, Miranda. They have a lot of the same characters, but they're not what we've grown to know over the years.
The alternate universe.
Yeah. So to the series, we'll start with you, Tom. What are your thoughts on the series? 'Cause I know you have some strong thoughts that we talked about.
I like it as it's a standalone type, like it's a good show. It's a good sci-fi show. But I have that like engraved in my mind from playing all the Halo games, and I think I've read one of the books. I could be mistaken. Anyways, but of just like all the characteristic traits and all that stuff, and And I know we had the conversation earlier, like how the cannon breaker of air quotes over here, cannon breaker of John taking off the helmet in that first episode, and you did say that he never specifically was like talked about in the games or anything.
So a big fan of the games are probably going to agree with you or have some similar feelings as you, because in the games we never see his face. He never takes his helmet off. But in the books, it is absolutely not a thing. Like, they're off with their armor as soon as the mission's over. Like, that is just regular. Like, they're on a mission, which is all the games are, is basically a mission. And then as soon as the mission's over, they're regular Marines or whatever they're called, Spartans, but whatever military personnel, they act the same. They go to their barracks, they take off their armor. It's not a thing that they wear all the time, like it would be for the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And I also don't think they talk about in the games like he never takes it off. It's just something that never happens.
It's just something like a cult thing. Not cult, like a cult classic type.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Well, fans of the game are going to possibly think like that. Yeah. So what, Alex, being well-versed in the books and in the novels, what did you think about him taking the helmet off?
So, when you said that in a game, I think that it's either Halo 3 or Halo 4 at the very end. He's on a ship, and he has the helmet on his side. And I want to say that the visor, the lens is cracked. And I thought that we were going to see his face
maybe that
at that point.
Yeah.
With the game in itself, so there's really only two games that I have stuck to playing for storyline: Gears of War and then Halo. I never really felt like he always had to have the mask. I did feel like after that scene, like, we're gonna see him without his mask. Like, that's what But was I upset that he took his helmet off? I think it gave it a realistic life to it, rather than this 7.5 foot tall man just walking around in 1,500 pounds of armor all the time. Like he comes out of the shower, he's still in armor.
Right. I agree with you. Like, for me, like, reading through the novels, like, I was more on your side. Like, yes, I can't wait to see his face. Not that he never takes it off. So it was like cool. I want to see what he looks like. But as like a fan of some of the books, I haven't read as many as you have. It was never a thing, like the helmet thing was never a thing. But like you said, it brings it like to a real life person, not just the Spartan. And that's who he is and how he's depicted in all of the books that he's in. There's not just, it's not just combat. I mean, they start off when they took him as a kid, and then he didn't get the armor until you were talking about before the show. They didn't even get their armor until after a couple missions that they're on.
Right. So I'm trying to think of when they got their armor, because they would have been augmented. Like the 300 were I don't think the 300. You would have had 300. They would have been knuckled down to, I think, like 75. Yeah. And out of that 75 that survived, some of the, like, Swarren wouldn't have been able to, because all his augmentations, like, inhibited it. There's some that couldn't really run the machines. There's other ones that had problems. I want to say, like, one of the commanders in the Kilo 5 series, she's running the crew, and she's a candidate that made it through, that didn't die, but never made it to either the augmentation. I can't remember. She made it to the augmentation, or couldn't pass some of those tests. Like, she was injured from it. Yeah. So they put her up at Oni. But I'm trying to think of maybe, like, it wasn't until, like, so if you look at a timeline, Harvest is the book. So Harvest the book is going to be the first encounter with the Jirahani. What are they? The elites.
The Covenant.
And the Covenant. That's a better, because it's going to be probably the prophets, the Covenant, or the whole it's not the whole gambit because the brutes and everything aren't in there yet.
Right.
But that's when they had that first meeting. I don't know. The Spartans were told that they had to. They were there for the insurrectionists in the very beginning. That's what they were there. That was what their purpose was.
Right.
And then the harvest happens, and then it's like, well, this is your purpose now. And but I'm trying to remember when they got their armor. I know that I think Kurt is the one that he trains the Spartan 3s. Kurt is also one of the ones. I think he's on Onyx when Onyx turns into. He doesn't turn into a shield world. They go into the shield world. They had to enter it. And it even says that he has his armor, but he hasn't worn his armor in a long time. He took it off, and then when they started to get attacked, I want to say that he thought about getting it, but couldn't get to it, or hadn't worn it in such a long time. He went ahead and left it behind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they don't show. I don't think they show in the series that they don't show them as kids. They don't show the augmentation. I don't think, right? They don't.
In the series, they kind of hint at it as flashbacks.
Okay.
Right.
But they also talk about how, like they don't talk about the essentially torture that they went through.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like bad flashbacks in the show. And to go back to when they got the armor, I just looked it up. It was 25-25.
Oh, so it was
okay.
Right,
so 25-25 is the fall of Reach.
It was right before.
Is that the fall of Reach?
25-52 is the fall of Reach.
Okay.
John was born in 2511.
Okay.
6. Yeah.
So they don't really show that, talk about that part in the series. You know, obviously if they're doing their own timeline, they have different, we would expect them to have slightly different backstories than the ones we know also. Unfortunately, the show has been canceled and will not have a season 3 unless another producer picks it up, or they're not development companies, but a media company picks it up and continues. But for now, it is canceled and done.
Yeah,
but we may never know in this silver timeline how they got their armor. We may never know. I don't know.
If you wanted to ask me about the series, I did enjoy the series. I felt that when it first started coming out, that I wanted Blue Team.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch them evolve. Maybe 2008, 2009, there was like hints of a movie. What we had is you had Spartans, or maybe it was just John, and it was like in a construction site, and they were shooting plasma and needlers at them, and you would have had hunters, the Kigyar, and that's Jirohani. What are the big dog, the elites, coming after them? And it was like the very first thing. It was like they were going to come out with a Halo movie, and that in itself, I don't want to say it was earlier than 2012, probably, but I knew it came after. I was thinking after Halo 2, but maybe it was even after Halo 3. And that in itself was like, they're going to make a movie, and you had across time of all these different like hints of it's going to happen. And so when this movie, when Paramount was going to do it, it's like finally, like somebody actually that has some money got their hands on it, and they're going to do it. And then so when I went into it with that expectation, it was it wasn't a letdown, because I started searching, is it going to be Blue Team? It's going to be Gray Team. It's their own thought. Then it was like, okay, well, it's at least something better than nothing. Yeah. I do believe that they did better in season 2. I think agree, that I would like to have seen John fight in his Mjolnir armor a little bit more than what they did. The relationship and how he can control the artifacts. I want to say that he's not the only one. Like, I want to say that the humans could control the artifacts, because they're supposed to be like the ones that are not chosen. But that's getting back into like the Forerunners. Who came before the Forerunners? Do you remember? Can you help me?
No, I don't.
There was a lot of things that I would have liked. I wanted to see him fight some more. In itself, I would go through it again and watch it. I really did enjoy seeing Soren, his character, and like who his character was. I do remember his character in the books, and just there's a lot of different characters that are out there that to start up a new series or start up a new book and have fun with it. So I think that in itself was interesting, and I'm a little sad that the series didn't get picked back up. It wasn't one that I thought like I'll never watch that again. So I mean that's a little bit of a turn, but hopefully it gets picked up and they take it in their own direction.
Yeah, I did like the little glimpses that I caught of the second season. I did better than the first season.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And going back to the Prometheans, they're the war machines created by their didact.
Okay, so the didact is gonna get the cartographer, and he's gonna suck humans up and create that and turn them into like an electronic form, and then he puts them into the Prometheans.
Yes.
And then they become his like warriors.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and I think that is Halo 4.
4, and that's to fight the flood without risk of biological infection. That's why.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the Didact's main objective.
Not in 4, but
right. Yeah. So I think that was like you could do that so that you can't get infected, but then he did it for for all the wrong reasons.
So I think it says he started it as a way to fight the flood, but then he just descended into madness.
So the didact has been. This is me gonna try to pull. So like when in the Forerunner books, it starts out with we'll call it, there's these two Forerunners, and the younger Forerunner, they give him a certain name because he's young, and the didact is going to imprint on this other Forerunner, which I can't remember his name, and it is so that he can preserve the thoughts and the memories of the past. And when they go through this, it's almost like a ritual. When they go through the ritual, the thoughts of the younger Forerunner, it's almost, you can hear him dying and the didact taking over, because he has so much more memory and so much more thought that the volume, his volume is so heavy it overtakes the younger of the two. So it's almost like he's transforming into another body because it's the same memory. It's it's almost like transferring files, But his was so big.
She said, sorry.
What's that? That's what even the librarian, which is supposed to be his wife, says something along the lines of like, it's you, is it you? Because he's in a different form.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's me. That's quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I think Shawkus and Riser were in the. They were two. I think they were human. I could be wrong, but they were like 343 Guilty Spark is actually the electronic version of Shawkus. So like at the end of one of the at the very end of the Forerunner books, they're taking Shawkus and they're putting him on a table, and they're basically transferring his mind into 343 Guilty Spartan. Like, they're transferring him into a machine.
Yeah.
Those were not easy books to get through. But I soldiered my way through because there was just a lot of stuff that I thought start from the beginning and make your way to the end. And I think I did Halo Reach first, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to start from the beginning. I started those 3 books, and then I went to, then it goes like, I think Harvest, Toll Protocol, maybe Glasslands is in there, before or after. I think the Cole Protocol is when they decide that we need to fight these things.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
no, I'm tracing off in books when we're on series. So my apologies. That was my fault.
No worries. The second season so far has been a lot better. They seem to you get to actually see the Spartans fight, like as you would imagine a Spartan being from the games, from the books, whatever you've seen it before. So that was really fun for me to watch, actually seeing the Spartans and John have no fear of fighting the elites, and just all of the Spartans are badass, and I love it. And I think they show how, like, some of the other I don't know, are they ODSTs? Some of the other military people didn't really like the Spartans, had problems with them, or I think is it another Spartan team that came in. I know that the Spartan 2s had a lot of people that didn't like them in the books. Am I right there, Alex?
Yes.
And
so
I think they showed that in the series a little bit.
Yeah. So like the Spartan 2s were not as I gotta think of if it's Halo Reach or not, but there's a part where John's in the gym and there's just a couple Marines in there and they start pushing him around. And it's just John just wrecks the guy. And basically, he makes him into a vegetable. Yeah. And I think Keys, is it Keys? Lieutenant Keys, it stops him.
I can't remember, but yeah, I think that is in the Fall of Reach. Yeah, I like that book.
That was a very good book.
I did like
so
that.
One I got
I
most of the way
also
through. I don't know if I finished that one.
I also think they did a good job. If I'm not mistaken, here we go for you, Alex. A question for you. If I'm not mistaken, they have seemed to depict the early relationship between Cortana and John pretty well in the series. And
I do think that that was a good I believe it was done well. Yes.
Because in the books, if I'm not mistaken, John absolutely did not want that thing in his head at all.
Yeah.
And they very well showed that, like, that their connection doesn't get strong until after Halo 1. Halo 1 takes place when they get to the Halo right after the Fall of Reach. Even then, he was apprehensive about her, and I don't think he really, like, that was their first mission together, and I don't think until after that is when they started that huge bond that everybody in the games knows.
That is a very far and distant memory, because when you bring up Halo 1, I have so many different memories of just multiplayer on like Blood Gulch, or what's the one inside? It's like a smoky room. It's like ice, the color of like what ice and running around. That's what I get caught up in.
Yeah.
But trying to think of the actual gameplay of Halo 1 and the storyline.
I don't think the storyline is pretty good.
Because it's right after the Fall of Reach. Because I think that's where is that Halo 2 or that's the first Halo? Mm-hmm. I think the very first Halo is right after the Fall of Reach, and then the Forward Unto Dawn is what's in my head, but it's not Forward Unto Dawn. The ship that he rides,
Pillar of Autumn.
Pillar of Autumn. He rides a Pillar of Autumn, and or wait a minute, Pillar of Autumn ends up there. Does he ride another ship there? Is he on a Covenant ship?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think left Reach on the Pillar of Autumn. It's not going to be told in the game as much as it's going to be told in the novel The Flood, which is basically a novelization of the game. So the game didn't really have a whole lot of story behind it. It's a lot they didn't tell or couldn't tell in the game, or at the time didn't even know what they were trying to tell. It was just supposed to be a shooter game. But anyways, the novel The Flood is the novelization of Combat Evolved Halo. So that's probably where you're going to get a lot more of that information in that book.
Mm-hmm. I just don't know if I'm getting Halo 2 mixed up with Halo 1, where when he's on the ring, and I want to say that Cortana ends up talking to Gravemind, and there's like these long, drawn-out conversations between the two, between Gravemind and Cortana, and I think John's in a little bit of it, but it's where he's enticing her to come in, and there's lots of room for you to move around. Is that Halo 1 or is that Halo 2?
I can't remember. I played Halo 2 more than any other in the series, and I honestly never played it for the story. I played it through several times over. I just never paid attention to it, I suppose. I also, like I said, like the fighting. I did like how they kind of... I haven't finished the second season, but they kind of give you John's like strength, and in the books, you know, he was just the lucky kid. He was just lucky. He was a natural leader, and his strength was luck. I mean, his you go back to your blue team that you're talking about. He had Kelly, who was known to be fast, and then he had one of the other dudes who is one of the strongest Spartans ever that could literally do what he wanted to physically against John. And, you know, each Spartan had a strength, if you will, and John's strength was that he's lucky. And I like how they touched base on that, and they kind of brought that up. Like, in the episode I saw, it was like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen, or I go into combat knowing I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm just going to be okay. I know I'm going to win this. And that's very typical a John trait. I think they nailed that as well in the series.
So like thinking about the series, there is a lot of Spartan 3s that are in there. And so if you look at, I don't know how often John would have been with the Spartan 3s. What was the blonde girl's name that ended up training the Spartan 3s? Yeah, Kai. K, like K-I or K-Y? Kai?
Oh, Kai. She's on his team.
Yep. So Kai was instructing the Spartan 3s. And so I think they depicted that well with the Spartan 3s going in to blow the ship up.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like the Spartan 3s, their main objective was to die.
Yeah.
They were made for cannon fodder.
All right, Alex, what is your favorite book? Unless we want to talk about the series some more.
I mean, in itself, I like the series. If I had to closing thoughts on the series, I enjoyed the series. I would like to watch it again. Just talking about it, because I mean, you did get to see the Spartan 3 program. I want to say the way the Flood. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I do kind of remember. I can't remember if it's the final episode. You guys got to tell me if you know this or not. So in one of the episodes that I'm thinking about is the Flood. They find like an artifact, and going back into the books, The librarian is one who preserved life, and so she preserved even the life of the flood in these different places. So even if the rings went off, you could kill all sentient beings and start fresh, but she still left these pods so that you could restart life from these pods, and the flood was one of them. And so they're on a world. They find themselves in a room. I think it's Miranda Keyes finds an artifact or something and opens it up, and it kind of, I want to say it shoots some dust out, and then they expose themselves to it in their own atmosphere rather than having it in like a controlled environment. And it takes a little bit, but then you see the flood starting to take over, and where Miranda's walking around people that are like clicking and ticking and having a hard time walking, or they're feverishly sweating really bad, and the whole place becomes kind of infested in a very short amount of time, where Swarren is going in, and he's going to get I think he's going to rescue his kid and his wife and get him out of there. He ends up getting up so far, and I want to say that they get out so far. His wife locks herself behind to stop everything because she has a cut, and you can see like like a worm substance kind of like in her arm. That's what I'm remembering. I don't know how close. We'll find out how close this is, and just very. Do you remember Halo 1, where it's like just a partial body with like half an abdomen with an arm stuck to it and a rifle running around wiggling all over the place?
Yeah.
Does that? Okay. So
Yeah,
like,
that shit
that's
terrified me.
the image. Oh, that's what I think they did. I think they did a good job showing the infection of the flood, showing the spread of it. Overall, I'm happy with it. I think that, like with what you said, they came out and said, "Hey, we're not going to follow this timeline or this universe. We want to make up our own." They took all the information that was within those things and still stayed true to some of those things that we do like. Yeah. Do you remember the Spartans had the tags on them? They had to rip the tags out of themselves. I thought that was like a little bit weird. I always thought that because John,
it was like Star Wars with the inhibitor chips.
Yeah.
Like so, I always felt like the reason they were who they were and why they were was because the trauma and everything that they had been through. And so Kilo 5 does a really good job of describing that. I can't remember her name. It's one of the Spartans in there. She doesn't wear her armor all the time. That is one that they say, "Hey, you don't have your armor on." She's like, "Yeah, I don't always wear it." So I mean, that in itself would maybe in the books that they always had their armor on. But there's a part where one of the AI, BB, is basically acting as if he is a therapist, and tries to unlock thoughts and open her mind to some of the things that her mind had just cut out because of trauma. And that's why I feel the Spartans are closed off and very non-social, rather than a chip inside them. That would be, just short notice, offhand, unfiltered thought.
Yeah. That's true. I actually did go through that. So speaking of those books, I have not read. I think I think I roughly counted. You've at least gone through, read 13 or so of the novels, maybe more or so. You have eventually, after a while, convinced me to go through
It's so hard.
the Kilo 5 series, which I did like. I did enjoy that series. Other than that series, I think I've only read the first 3 or 4 books in the main series, which not in chronological order, but it would be The Fall of Reach, and then it would be what's next? The Flood, and then First Strike, and I think Ghost of Onyx. I may have started Contact Harvest, but I don't know if I finished that one. So I've read a few, but not nearly as much as you. But I will say that the Kilo 5 trilogy is really good. I for sure enjoyed that one.
Did you read them in order, chronological order, or did you just like pick a book and read it?
No, I started with so my order would not have been chronological. I would have started with The Fall of Reach, and then The Flood, and then First Strike. I don't know if those, The Fall of Reach and The Flood can pretty much go chronologically side by side, I think. I don't know about First Strike. I think there might be something in between First Strike and The Flood, or that's going to be the third. And then Ghost of Onyx is going to be a different one. Yeah, I don't know chronological. I just read them in order in the main series, and then did the Kilo 5 series.
Okay.
So the Kilo 5 series, if I'm not mistaken, they talk a lot about the Onyx or the Shield world, right? Or that's where they go. So if I'm not mistaken, in the Ghost of Onyx, they get sucked into that world, and then it kind of ends with they're all gone. Like, where did they go? And they didn't really explain anything else. And I thought that was what happens in the Kilo 5 series. That's where they pick that back up.
Unless Grasslands picks that up.
Grasslands.
Tom, what's Grasslands about? Read.
It's the first of the Kilo 5.
Oh, okay. Then yes. Yep.
Yeah. So the Ghosts of Onyx, they get sucked in. Who is it? It's Halsey and some Spartan 3s that get sucked into the.
So it's Kelly. So somehow.
Oh, that's right.
Kelly is like
she's with Halsey
injured, and Halsey. I don't know if I'm channel jamming like a series and a book, but Halsey hops a ship and heads over, and I don't think she's supposed to. I think I'm channel jamming that. But it's Kelly, Halsey, and then there's Kurt. I think Kurt dies getting them into the Shield world. Holding off the Covenant as the door is closing.
Yes.
There's 2 Spartan 3s that are with them.
Yeah.
One's a mute. She hadn't talked in a while.
Oh, that's right.
But there was 2 Spartan 3s that had gone to a planet to destroy like a radio tower, and they all died except for like 1 or 2 of them. And I want to say that it was. Her name will come to me in a minute. But she made it into the Shield world, and she found an engineer. She's one of the first ones that found an engineer, and the engineer was trying to fix her.
Yeah,
to get her to
talk. Yeah, that's going to be Grasslands. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's Grasslands, because I remember because so my biggest quarrel when I was reading them, which wouldn't be the same now, is I really fall in love with characters. I and a lot of people when they're writing stories or reading a story or listening to a story, watching a story, whatever the story is, a lot of people generally, there's a couple different storytelling techniques, and one of them is you tell a story with a compelling character, because people gravitate towards characters. And then there's another storytelling, which is you tell a story. It's got just a lot of backstory, where it's not like a focus on a character anymore, and it just focuses on a lot of things. And I know you love backstories of things.
I was just going to say, what do I love, Josh?
Yeah. And so I gravitated towards John after reading The Fall of Reach. Like, I loved John, loved him from the games too, but John in The Fall of Reach was really cool. And then after like the third book I read, he wasn't in it much. And then The Ghost of Onyx he's off doing his own mission. Kelly and Halsey and whoever they go into that Onyx or that shield ward, whatever it's called, and there's no more Master Chief. Now I think I could get through it a little better because I enjoy like good storytelling. But at the time when I was reading them, I was very into John, and once they started getting away from him in the books, it was not as interesting to me. But the Grasslands, when you told me that wraps up or tells you more of what happens after the Ghost of Onyx, I was intrigued because after the Ghost of Onyx, they just left. They were gone, and then there's nothing. There was nothing. You had nothing. I think they come back in a game later, but it's like you don't know what happened to them, and so I that was very good to read through, even though John wasn't in it.
Right. And I mean, that's where I did like following timelines, because some of those books are overlapping in timeline.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of times where they would call out like, this is 2531 or just different things that are going on, and that I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, and they do tell a lot of good stories in the novels. Like, there's a lot of different side missions that you would have never. I mean, they're fun to read about. One of the novels was a human and somebody going to the Covenant world, and then they were like searching through the ancient ruins of the Covenant world. I don't remember. Do you remember that one?
So that sounds like the series. Was it? Are you remembering this as a? Do you remember what book this was? Because in the very beginning, in the series, it shows. Do you remember that girl that was with the Arbiter in the Paramount series?
Yeah.
She was on it showed her beginning that she was on like a planet and there was nothing but trash, and then she's like because I think she is with the Arbiter.
I remember it as creating the imaging in my mind. Like when you read, you create the image in your mind, as opposed to seeing a picture. So I want to say it was something that was read, not seen, but I'd have to rewatch the first season to confirm that. But if I'm not mistaken, it was something like the human was going to their world and had like I don't remember now. I can't remember everything. But
do you remember what book it was from?
I don't. I don't at all.
There's one thought that I have. I can't remember what book it's from, but it's from the Jiralhani side. They're at war with themselves.
Right.
Oh, that's the Kilo 5 series. That is a Kilo 5 because it's they're fighting with each other, and I think Kilo 5 is trying to help them win their religious war, so that they can. They want one side, because it's almost like there's two different sects,
right?
And they team up with one side, going, "Hey, we'll help you," and they're trying to like push stuff around on one side, like the political side, and then there's like the rebel side. There was an interpreter that he could speak Sangheili.
Yes,
and then he's in the ruins. And he's reading the ruins, and then he opens up a portal.
Yes, I was gonna say I remember a portal, but I didn't want to sound stupid.
Yeah.
I thought I remembered like exactly what you just described. So yeah, it must be one of those books. All right,
I can't.
let's move on to the games.
Go ahead, continue. Sorry. Well,
Tom,
what is your favorite book? Because I don't think we ever crossed that bridge.
So if we go into like trilogies, a favorite book is going to be The Fall of Reach.
Same.
The entire backstory of the Spartan 2s, they give a glimpse of, I think they tell you about the Spartan 1s and how it failed. And they go through all the way up till the glassing of Reach, I think. And you really get to see all of the characters. I mean, they really tell you a lot, not all, but they tell you a lot of different Spartan 2s, and you get to learn who they are. And as kids, all the way up until some of them don't make it. But I thought it was really good. I mean, it had some dark parts, it had some cool parts. I thought it was just a really well written book.
Fall of Reach is for me. It's Halo Reach. It's the beginning of the kids. It's the build. It's really the foundation that John is built on, and the character that we love to see move forward. Yeah. And so that in itself was my favorite book to read, just to like knowledge.
Yeah,
there was a lot in it, and it all went together well.
Yeah. After Reach, or after the Fall of Reach, I would have to say the Kilo 5 trilogy is my favorite after that.
And I can say you're welcome.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, so I've been to the Kilo 5 series I think twice, just because I missed some of the characters. I really like the series. I like that little grouping. Yeah. The one that was fun to go through was the hidden stories. Okay. It was a fun one because it's just like it hops. It's almost like if you had nothing but Halo but had a TV remote and you switch channels. Yeah. Because some of these things would start, there was no build to it. Yeah. Like with Sworn Story's in there. It has a build. It gives a little bit of backstory. Tells you who he is. Some of the things that happened to him. Other ones, it's like these guys are in the trenches and they got a wounded guy and they're trying to get out of here. And I want to say like one of them, they can see like John comes in and rescues them and gets them out. So it's almost like from the eyes of somebody else that sees John come in and get him out of a bad situation. That was a fun one to read.
Yeah, I have.
Tom, did you read the books? Watch.
The only book that I started reading and I'm actually about to buy it is so I could actually force myself to read it is Fall of Reach.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, once you get into the first chapter, you won't have to force yourself anymore.
I just don't read in general a lot.
It's good. Audiobooks.
Because I'm trying to get through Lord of the Rings right now. See, my problem with audiobooks is I just kind of I put it on and then it just becomes background noise and I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think Audibles has done, if Audibles wants to sponsor us, I think Audibles has done a fantastic job with different stories and adding a sense of music, some background noise to kind of bring books to life to an extent.
Yeah. The book you were talking about, Alex, is Halo Evolutions, Essential Tales of the Halo Universe. It's a collection of short stories from the Halo universe.
I think the games is the next topic now.
Tom, what's your favorite game that you've played?
Reach.
I've never played that one.
Reach is one of the highest ranking video games of all time. It's up there with one of the most famous games that you should play. Like you need to play that game if you're into gaming.
Why?
That's hilarious.
And I'm not biased against it, or I mean I am, obviously it's my favorite game, but I've seen articles and stuff like listing best video games of all time, and like obviously like Super Mario Brothers is up there, and like Reach is one of them.
Are you a Spartan or are you an ODST?
Spartan.
What Spartan are you?
You are on. Hold on.
Your noble team.
Yeah, your noble team. You're Noble 6.
Okay.
You don't have a name. Your name is Noble 6.
Okay.
So the question I have, because that
Best video games of all
the
time.
June from Noble Team is the one who trains the Spartan Force. Where does Halo ODST fall in the video games? Is it after Reach?
ODST, I thought it takes place like Halo 3. So it would be after Reach.
Orbital Drop Shot Troopers, I think is ODST.
In and
Yes,
around the
yeah.
events of Halo 2 and 3.
Because the ODSTs are they're in the books. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say that they talk about orbital drop shot troopers.
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure in the first one, because if I'm not mistaken, like those ODSTs are just badasses until the Spartan 2s came around.
Right.
I've never played the ODST game either.
I haven't either. But at that time I was like, it's not John. Don't need you.
Yeah.
And I should have played.
You still can.
I can. No, absolutely. So your brother and I need to finish up Halo 5 still. And Halo Infinity still needs to be completed, because that's one of the storylines that I still haven't finished up yet, because life happened.
Yeah.
I am gonna say that my favorite video game is the Master Chief Collection, just to make people grind their teeth. It was the worst game drop. It was the most exciting and worst game drop of all time.
Oh, it was so broke.
Where it's like you can play all of them, and we're like, okay, and they're like, but there's a lot of bugs, and I honestly, okay, so like if I had to go, which is my favorite, Halo 2 hands down. I had a very, my favorite time would have been playing multiplayer and glitching through maps, and we spent just an exuberant amount of time exploring maps with rocket lunging,
Yeah.
and finding cracks on maps and super bouncing, and that was a time where when you bought a video game, that was the game. There was no updates. Like, if they messed up, it was in there,
Yeah.
and there was no like patch notes, whatever, didn't exist. You could find flaws in the system and bend them to your will. I wish that we could still explore maps, and now they just have, you're out of the area, or you're gonna die in 5 seconds. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What's your favorite, Josh?
My favorite game is Halo 2. Yeah.
Mhm.
I liked Halo 1. It's got a different feel for me. That was back before So when I played Halo 1 the first time, it was at Gary's house. And I mean, we didn't, he just had it. Like, he had a bunch of games. Xbox, back in 2001, 2002, like early,
Right.
before high school for me. And we played it, and I couldn't, if anybody remembers the beginning of Halo 1, you like crash on the Halo. I think you're in like a small shuttle ship, and you I think you get out, and then I think you and a team of ODSTs or somebody are going through and starting the game. Anyways, right after you exit the ship, I can't remember if everyone was dead or not, but you exit the little shuttle and you have to walk across the bridge, across the cannon, like a land bridge.
Yeah.
I could not do that. My
Really?
first time
It's kind
playing,
of wide.
I could not get across it. This would have been... So the difference between you and me, Tom, growing up is you have always had video games in the house because of me. I didn't get a video... Like, I didn't even own a video game console at that time.
Didn't we have the... You would have had the PS1, most likely.
Not then. I didn't.
Okay.
No, I bought the PS1 like when PS3 came out or something.
Oh.
Like I was way behind. Yeah. Yeah, I was way behind. I got my first, like, the first console that my parents bought me would have been an Xbox original console, and I would have been
Sitting in the basement.
Yeah, and I would have been like a sophomore. Yeah, I think I would have been a sophomore-ish. And other than that, I bought my PS1, but it was like way late. It was, I got it for cheap because I bought it myself, and it was reasonably priced at that time.
Yeah, now you can try to go buy one. They're like $200, $300.
Before that, a neighborhood kid got rid of his Sega Genesis console, and at that time, like, I think PlayStation was already out, and that's probably why he was getting rid of it. And so I did have a Sega console, so I may have had a hand-me-down Sega console at that time, but Sega is not a free roam first-person game with a controller. And if anybody remembers the original Xbox controllers, they were giant fucking enormous.
My favorite.
And I have teeny tiny little hands.
Didn't have like a random grasp in the center.
So, yeah, I could not get across that land bridge the first few times. I had to give my controller to Gary, and he had to get me across the bridge. And then after that, I probably wasn't helpful, but I could follow him around. So,
Did he
Halo...
unplug the controller like you did to me?
Follow me. So Halo has a different feel for me, and then Halo 2 would have been the game that dove into uncontrollably down the rabbit hole and played, I don't know, a couple thousand hours of it, I'm sure.
Oh, dude, and some of that stuff is still online.
Yeah.
Do you remember finding that?
Yeah.
That was just mind blowing to me. You're like, yeah, like we could go all the way back to here. It's like, oh my gosh, if only they could have recorded voices.
Yeah, I think it's still a website that you could still look up all of your stats from Halo 2 online. Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I'm sure I could find it again. And to go to what I've read here about Reach, Tom, is Reach would have been the final development from Bungie in the series. Bungie made the first 3, and then they made Reach. They probably made ODST as well. And then Reach. And then after Reach is when the reboot happened with 343. And they started that with Halo 4. And then their trilogy's obviously 5 and then Infinite.
Do you remember being mad that Bungie turned to 343?
Yeah, I do remember that, and I was hesitant about it. Ruining it. You know, they did.
Right. And so 343 Productions was created out of Bungie. So this has been a while that I got to think about it. It was they had created Halo. So Halo, when Halo was created, it was going to be like I want to say like Halo Wars, like an overtop game, and then it turned into like a guy running around. And this is when they were really starting to work with like Duke Nukem. I want to say had like 3D mapping, so like you could walk around and it wasn't just flat 2D. And there's a good, it's probably 4 hours, but it's called like the evolution of Halo, and how these guys had this game. They were just like a really small thing, and Halo just exploded. And 343 Productions is really, it was still Bungie, but it was a new form that could actually sustain the overload of what the game needed to be. But I always had felt that 343 was not the caliber that Bungie was, but it was still the I think the same team is just under a new name.
Yeah, I think without looking it up, I'm sure Tom's gonna tippy tap it into Google face here, but I believe without looking it up, like I said, that if you look up 343 Industries, I think it says 343 Industries, a Bungie company.
That if you have a 4-hour drive, I want to say it's the evolution of Halo is a good watch, and the evolution of the Xbox is another one that is just if you do like that realm, it's a lot of fun because it takes you back in time, and we lived it. Yeah. You know, when they were saying like when they were going to push out the original Xbox, that they were going to go with an Ethernet cable rather than like a phone line. Where PlayStation 2, you could hook up a phone line for like DSL, yeah. And the guys that were building the Xbox were computer guys, and they're like, nope, we're going with Ethernet. I want to call it Cat 5 cable. I don't know. It was probably Cat 3 at that time. It might be Cat 7 now. I have no idea. But some of the things that they were doing, and then E3 launch, I want to say like it didn't even start up. And he just stood there and talked about it.
Okay.
I forget what the guy's name was. Yeah. So, I mean, they had a lot of ups and downs. Their project name, I think, was Xbox. And they decided that, you know, they, like when they were starting the project, it was just an Xbox. And they couldn't come up with anything better than Xbox because they really, truly liked it. They even they spent thousands of dollars hiring people like, what would you call this thing? Looking for names, just to name it. And Xbox had stuck through it all.
Yeah, wow. I just looked this up. At the E3 show, which is a gaming convention I think they do every year, and they have done for a long time, but in the 1999 E3 show, Bungie unveiled an RTS, a real-time strategy game called Halo, also known as Halo CE, at the following E3. And they overhauled it into a third-person shooter version was displayed. And then Bungie was bought by Microsoft, and then it was revamped again and re-released as a first-person shooter. So, yes, you are right. It would have been a real-time strategy game, which is Halo Wars,
okay,
Warcraft, Age of Empires, any of those types of games. Would have been Bungie's original creation of it. What's your least favorite game, Tom, in the series?
Real quick, I did look it up. So 343 is the same. It has the same business story as Pixar did. Like head executive left Bungie and started their own company, and it's a not Disney. Microsoft is their parent company, not Bungie. So
Microsoft's also Bungie's parent company. At least they were.
I don't know if they still are. I didn't look that up. I don't think so, because Destiny is cross-platform. I think you can play with. I don't think it's a Microsoft exclusive.
Well, just because it's not an exclusive does not mean.
Least favorite Halo game? I would have to say 5, just based on how short it was. Like, you can beat that game in a couple hours if you really wanted to.
I have not finished that game, but I have heard that exact same thing. It felt like just a jumper game between the first game and the second game, or the third game they were going to release.
Yeah, it was a rush to get Infinity out.
Halo 5 would have been the reunite of the blue team, which if you only played the games, you wouldn't have known that would have been super significant. But if I'm not mistaken, that's the first time that they bring the rest of the blue team back.
Yes. And that was also the thing. I didn't know anything about any of them until after the game. And I sat down and talked with you about it.
Yeah. And so one of my favorite one of my favorite characters in the books is Kelly. And, to actually see her in a game, that was really cool for me.
Kelly and Linda are on Onyx.
Okay.
Kelly, Linda, and I think it's 2. Maybe Linda is one of the Spartan 2s. Or the Spartan 3s.
Okay.
Sorry. When you said Kelly, Linda came to me. Linda.
Listen, Linda. What's your least favorite game of the series, Alex?
Halo 3.
Really?
Why? I just wasn't like Halo 2. I had so much fun with Halo 2. Halo 3 kind of came out, and I was hoping that it would be, over the top. Gameplay was okay. I wasn't a fan of double wielding SMGs. They nerfed the Magnum, and it wasn't the same. I want to say the battle rifle was even different to an extent. Maybe that was the only thing that kind of stayed. Or was that is that one? No, battle rifle I think was a little bit different.
I think you might be right.
They say what?
I said I think you might be right. I think it was a little different.
Because I know they changed the SMGs and the Magnums.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. Halo 1 with the Magnum that you can zoom with, fantastic.
That was good. Yep.
Oh, I'm like a sniper with that thing.
Yeah, that's a good gun.
Just picking grunts off from across the map.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But Halo 3, why I didn't fall in love with it? Maybe it was because Halo 2 had taken me so high that I had higher expectations from it. But it's always been one that was just like, Halo 3, meh.
Yeah. Tom said Reach was really good, and it's regarded as one of the best. The only things I've ever heard is that Halo 3 was one of the most popular games and regarded as one of the better of the series. Halo 2.
It's a debate between 3 and Reach.
Yeah, when Halo 2 came out, it broke records, and then when Halo 3 came out, it doubled it.
Oh wow!
So they broke records even more. Halo 3 was very anticipated. Was a very good switch in the Major League Gaming tour. I knew it was very popular. I did not get into it either.
So, going back to the Bungie thing, I just looked it up. Sony owns Bungie.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. I wonder when they left Microsoft.
When they left Halo, 2007, 8,
Okay.
or 9, maybe.
So yeah, I think I would agree. I didn't play 5 all the way through. I don't remember 3. But
Infinite was good because it like changed the Halo idea.
That's the free,
like,
the open world one. Yeah.
Yeah. Completely open world.
That's the one. We all have that. We should play that game.
I'm down. I'd have
Which one?
But yeah.
Infinite, I think.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that would be fun to play. I haven't played any of it, so that would be fun to play.
You have played a little bit with me.
Yeah, I've played hardly anything. I remember having to get through the starter area to get to the thing, and I know we've played online stuff, which is fun. I do enjoy Halo Online. I do remember, I think the first game playing Infinite with you online, I grabbed the sniper rifle and I was like, oh, this is just like old times. And it's just like, man, I picked that gun up and I was able to play like I could play in Halo 2 back in 2005.
Right.
So that
I think Halo Infinite was a well-made game to almost like, can we remaster Halo 2, or could we birth Halo 2 again?
Yeah.
And I think that's what they did.
Yeah. I played a lot of Halo 4 also, and I did enjoy Halo 4. I've played a lot. I've recorded several games of me playing online, and the only ones that I ever salvaged from how you used to have to record to then Halo 4 being, another decade later. The technology was way easier to capture video game stuff. So Halo 4, I actually was the only game that I actually created a montage of me playing.
God, I forgot about that montage.
That was Halo 4.
That was Halo 4.
Halo 4, you could create your own maps.
Yeah.
That was the first time they came out with Forge.
Yes. I loved creating maps. That was fun.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Okay, so if we're in video games, favorite weapon?
Of the Halo series?
Sure.
Or of like all of it?
So that's a hard one. So here's where my thoughts are. I love the gravity hammer.
Yeah.
When you found out that, so like across time, I guess the Halo 3 you could fly the spirit, or you could fly the ghosts finally.
Oh yeah.
And you could, so like some of the drivable machines were fun, but when the swords were fun in Halo 2, you could finally use a sword, and the gravity hammer was just one that was, I just remember it was just like kaplowy, like that was awesome.
Yeah.
And people would fly away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Griff Ball. I think we've had some of the most fun, Josh and I, because I never really played a lot of online games, but like I had the most fun playing Griff Ball.
Yeah.
What's that?
With
That's where you
just
have to
gravity
hang on to
hammers. It's like soccer
Oh.
with gravity hammers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
I was under the impression it was like with the skull.
Maybe it's like capture the flag.
Yeah.
Well, so no, I think you're right. I think it's like soccer with gravity hammers. You slam it down and you launch it.
Speaking, we're going to sidetrack a little bit. I want to get back to the favorite weapon. Speaking of soccer, in Halo 2, it's an Easter egg to find a giant soccer ball in the second mission.
Oh yeah. Right before you get to
It's
like the town,
like Earth.
Yes,
It's like
you're
the
on
first-
Earth.
Yeah. You can go find a giant soccer ball like hidden upside somewhere in the map. I forget how to do it now. I just remember seeing a big ass ball that you could like punch down the street.
You can knock it into the streets. I think you use a grenade and you launch it out.
Yeah. Yeah, so sidetrack back to where we found all of the glitches and the fun things outside of the maps and everything we could do. But so to go to the favorite weapon, mine's going to have to be. I very much enjoy the sniper, the regular sniper, not the laser sniper.
Right.
But that would be secondary to my favorite weapon of the battle rifle.
Boom! Headshot. Oh,
The battle rifle, I just felt so comfortable. Like a sniper, you can get good. I got good at no scoping, like so I could be viable up close. But there's just something about like if I had a battle rifle in my hand, in my virtual hands, I felt like it didn't matter what weapon the other person had. Like I'm going to disrupt them in a way and then take them out.
Brap, brap, brap.
Yeah.
Next.
The DMR came out, I think, at least I remember it in Halo 4 first.
I was gonna say 4.
That one was okay, but it still wasn't the triple shot of the battle rifle. It
Okay,
wasn't
so
I preferred the DMR over the battle rifle.
In Halo 2, you could do it in online if you're good at it, and I got good at it. You could do a double shot. And so it took 4 shots to hit somebody in the head to kill them in multiplayer. And if you did a double shot, it would shoot 2 shots simultaneously. So it would be, the ba-da-da, but it would be you could do it on the last shot. So you'd hit them regular, like 1 shot, ba-da-da, another shot, ba-da-da, and then you would do the combination on the controller, and it would release 2 shots simultaneously, ba-da-da-da-da-da. And so in the time it takes you to shoot 3 shots, you can kill somebody faster. 6? Yeah. Well, in the time frame it takes somebody to, because it takes 4 shots. So if you could double shot on the last one, you're only shooting in the time frame it takes 3 shots. So if you're shooting against somebody who has great aim and doesn't know how to do the double shot, you'll win every time because you shoot quicker.
That's fantastic. Do you remember drilling a hole in your your trigger?
Yes. Yeah. So because the triggers were so long, but the engage of the trigger was like halfway through. So yeah, I remember sticking like a pin through it or a bolt or something to stop my trigger from going all the way down. So it would just hit that trigger point, and then I wouldn't have to. I would save time. Latency's everything when you play online first-person shooters. Anything you can cut down latency, you can do it.
Josh, what are you doing in the wood shop? Modding my controller.
Tom, did you ever see that controller?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So it would have been the second generation of Xbox controllers, so they were smaller, but their trigger lengths were very long. They're not like a PlayStation trigger. Their trigger strokes were very long, but the trigger activation point was like halfway down the button. So if you got good at only pushing it in halfway, that's great. But I drilled in, stopped it right past that, like through all the way through the whole, I guess, outside casing of the controller, and then stuck a bolt through so that the trigger would only go down halfway, and I wouldn't have to send it all the way down. Now, in some games that are like pressure sensitive on your triggers or stuff that I would take it out, but for any shooter game, which was mostly Halo 2 at the time, I was very quick on the trigger. I didn't have to push it down the whole way.
Yeah.
That's what I soldered. I took this is during Modern Warfare 2, the first Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
And I took and soldered in buttons to the board so that you could. One button was like quick scoping with a shotgun and firing. The other one was it took the motor that spins the weight for the vibrations and put that towards the trigger fire. So if you had just a regular like a DMR that had no multi-burst, it was just semi-automatic.
Yeah.
It would fire like it was fully automatic with no muzzle climb. So I could run around like with a pistol and go, brrr, brrr, but there was no muzzle climb on it.
That's so funny. When I jumped back into Halo Infinite and played online, and that came in 2001 or 2021, and very long after the game I played the most, which would have been Halo 2. Halo 4 I played a lot as well, but Halo Infinite, when I got that sniper rifle back after playing whatever Call of Duty was out at that time, any shooter games. I mean, there's Escape from Tarkov. There's several shooter games I got into. Rainbow Six, Siege. Anyways, there is 0 bullet drop in Halo, and it was very very nice.
Pleasing.
Yeah, you shoot across the map, and that bullet is going to get there in no time at all, with no drop at all.
Well, it's future. It's the future, so
Yeah. What were you going to say, Tom?
I was gonna reiterate like how Grifball was played,
Okay.
and then I was also gonna go into how what my favorite weapon was. Anyways, Grifball, it's like a random selection. Like one person gets to carry the skull, and then everyone else has to either defend the guy carrying the skull, or like you got to get to the other side, essentially.
Okay.
And you could pick up the skull. Like you can drop it, have somebody else pick it up, and then go. But then the other team just has to prevent you from scoring. So you get gravity hammers and swords.
Swords, yeah. Usually they throw swords in with that too.
Yeah, that's your secondary weapon. But I mean,
I was never good
who's
with
going
the
to
gravity
use
hammer.
a sword when you have gravity hammers?
Yeah, see, I was never good with the sword, with the gravity. Like, I remember in Halo 2, I was so quick with the battle rifle. If somebody's rushing at me with the sword, I had enough time, as long as I aimed right, I had enough time to 4-shot them, because it only took me 3 shots, to 4-shot them while they're even lunging at me.
I'd be so mad. I remember like they would
so
clip
far
you.
away.
They would show clips, right? And like you'd be like, "Brrr," and like as the guy's like coming at you, the body would just fly. And like the body would throw itself at you.
Yeah. Sometimes they'd hit me, but I would get hit. You could get hit, but my shield would just go down. I would still be there. But yeah, with my battle rifle, I was very confident with that in Halo 2.
My favorite weapon probably has to be the Magnum from first Halo.
Halo 1.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like when I'm playing on the Master Chief Collection, I'll put on like different skulls and stuff, and like give myself infinite ammo and just run through the game. But I'll only have the Magnum. Like I won't use any other. Like I'll just be sitting there with the Magnum and just headshot, and just take out everything.
In Halo Combat Evolved, the Magnum was my favorite. I would put the Magnum as my favorite. I was never a fan of the SMGs, but I would put the Magnum as my favorite in that game, and then followed by the Sniper.
Yeah.
And then they released the BR, and I never looked back. They released the BR and nerfed the Magnum.
Yes.
Because the zoom in Halo 2, the zoom in the Magnum just zooms in with your visor. There's no there's no actual zoom in the weapon. And you probably couldn't kill things as quickly. with that Magnum. Unless you played a game where no one had shields, multiplayer, and you just ran around with Magnums.
double pistols. That's probably my all-time favorite.
That was a lot of fun. Or, another one we used to play was, and I think they added this into some games, but we used to play our own custom game on Foundation.
Zombie.
Yes. It was on Foundation mostly, and that was not even original drop map that came out in first or second expansion of the maps. And that was so much fun. And now I think that's like in the game somewhere, or at least it's
Infection.
Oh, it's called Infection. There you go. I know Call of Duty put a similar variation in their games as well. But we used to play that, and it was so much fun. It was like, oh, you died, and you literally go into the menu, switch your own team.
Yeah, you become it's the Flood now.
Yeah, well,
one person starts.
We just had different colors. You're the red team now. You're a zombie.
Yeah.
And you could only use the swords. But like there wasn't a game structure. It was like our own rules. And so like there'd be a zombie running around shooting people. It'd be like, hey, dickhead. That's not how this works. You died. You switched colors. You have to only go pick up a sword or something like that.
Well, so you had to set up the game type because it wasn't like, because I think now if you die, it automatically switches you to the other team.
Yeah.
Like we had to be disciplined ourselves and create our own game and have fun.
Yeah.
And so like you had two options. You could have a pistol or a sword. Is how I remember it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was shotgun or sword. And
yes.
And so if you died, you had to switch to a sword.
Yeah.
But
weapon.
if not, then you had a shotgun, and then we would barricade ourselves.
That's
in
so fun. In one of the rooms, they had all those boxes, so we'd knock the boxes over, block the doors so that the zombies couldn't get in, and then we would just stand up on the back so that if they had to lunge, they had to lunge the farthest to us. And while they're lunging, if you could shoot them in the face, you win with the shotgun. So, yes, that was so much fun to play when we created it ourselves.
Absolutely.
I always have loved the idea of creating a game within a game.
Well, that's why I think when they brought out Forge, that
that was
there was just so many different options, and then across time you had people building maps, but you had people building old maps.
Yeah.
Like on Halo 4, and it's like, hey, come check out this Halo 2 map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I built a full map. It was off one of the
Battleship?
maps. It was I don't know how much we ever played on it, but
we did. We played a good bit. I think we played
Capture the Flag.
Yeah. Capture the Flag. We played on there once.
Yeah, I enjoyed building that map. Do they have anything like that in Infinite? Because that's on PC now. I would enjoy building a map with.
I'm sure
keyboard.
They do.
More.
I think Forge is on there. I believe it is. I don't know.
That could be fun. That map I made, it's got a screenshot of it or something, or maybe like a fly around of it at the beginning of my montage.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
It has Forge.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to check that out. I like creating stuff.
All right, so I think that's a wrap for episode 12. I think it was a successful detour, talking about our favorite video game franchises ever, Halo. Well, I want to thank Alex for being on for this episode. And
thank you for having me.
Anytime, man, anytime. Love having you on.
It's been a lot of fun.
And we want to thank all our listeners, whoever's listening to this episode 12. Next time, we're going to detour once again. We're going to be talking about our favorite spooky season films and just talk about different Halloween movies and stuff like that, pop culture references and whatnot. Leave us your thoughts about this episode or anything you have to talk about Halo in the comments. We love hearing from everyone. For this week's poll, it's going to be, did you like the Halo series on Paramount?